was working with the Department of Defense, but I was not in the Pentagon building at that time. There was an announcement that the Twin Towers had been hit in New York. And so everybody rushed to the television set. Were in utter shock. All of the phone lines lit up because we heard immediately that the Pentagon had been hit. It was probably the most vulnerable I've ever felt in terms of a physical threat. The other feeling was a sense of panic. Nobody had anticipated at all this level of attack. Global War on Terror was announced very quickly by George Bush. The US military machine swung into action. Of that military machine resulted in the downfall of the Taliban very quickly. Bin Laden, he managed to elude capture, and over time, the initial war of intervention in Afghanistan turned into a big, drawn-out counterinsurgency effort. And elements of the Taliban leadership also managed to elude the US military and intelligence machine as well. And, unbelievably, 20 years on, the Taliban, in their view, have prevailed. They've declared a victory. And, in a very ignominious way, the United States has had to leave with all of the chaos. I think probably the most difficult, or the turning point in the retribution against Al-Qaeda was when, both in Iraq and Afghanistan, the US got sucked into a very drawn-out counterinsurgency campaign. Islamic extremism and jihadism and many other forms of extremism will never disappear. I think the big question for me is declaring a global war, because the United States went onto a war footing. Perhaps the concept could have been refined much more. So 20 years on, you have the Taliban. The United States, I think, had to get to grips with thinking of the Taliban as a viable fighting force which had aspirations for government rather than a terrorist organization. But branches of Al-Qaeda still exist. In terms of contingency planning, there needs to be mechanisms to think out of the box. The other thing, there needs to be an effort to understand the motivations for terror. So understanding homegrown terrorism, but also what is creating the environment for terrorism abroad. So I think all big powers and small powers are in the same boat when it comes to terrorism, and I think a joint approach to tackling terrorism is really important.